6:31 this morning. We've devoted a lot of coverage to the COVID-19 vaccines, and now you're about to meet one of the doctors who designed it.
And he grew up about 40 miles from right here. All new this morning, reporter Dan Cohen brings us a story you will only see right here on 41 Action News today.
Barney Graham is a Kansas man.
I lived in Olathe early part of my life and moved to Paola and when I was a teenager.
And a Kansas farming man.
We raised quarter horses for a while, then we switched to cattle and raised some Santa Gertrudis, and then we switched to hogs and had a big farrow to finish operation where we raised more than 2,000 head of hogs a year. And yeah, that was a learning experience. We farmed about 800 acres to feed them.
Graham's education took him up the road to the University of Kansas Medical School. He became an immunologist and virologist, and in 2000 joined the Vaccine Research Center at the National Institutes of Health to help their efforts fighting HIV.
Even though we haven't developed an HIV vaccine yet, all the technologies that we have worked on to do that have all been applied to these new problems, unmet needs, and emerging infections.
Fast forward to December 31st, 2019.
We should keep our eyes on this outbreak that was reported in China. And about an hour later, after a second report came, I said, you need to be ready for 2020.
On January 7th, a key conversation took place with a key partner.
Prototype pathogen approach for pandemic preparedness. And that combined our ability to do precision design of proteins with Moderna's ability to do rapid manufacturing.
On January 11th, they had the novel coronavirus's genetic sequence. What happens next requires an accessible explainer.
This will be easy because I've got a 5-year-old granddaughter named Anaya, and I've explained this to her.
Step 1. Identify the virus's spike protein.
Its job is to reach out and grab a cell and then pull the virus into the cell to start the infection. So during that process, that protein undergoes a big rearrangement.
Step 2, take that protein, modify it, and weaponize it against the virus.
Our job to make a vaccine is to take that protein, stabilize it in its native functional conformation or shape, keep it that way so that the immune response can see the right surfaces. If they see the rearranged surface, then they're responding to the non-functional protein.
Step 3, use Moderna's messenger RNA technology to rapidly manufacture vaccines. It took 6 weeks.
Making a vaccine requires about 1,000 decisions, and they all have to work out the right way in order to get to a place where it's really going to turn out to work.
Step 4, clinical trials and results that surprised the decades-long veteran in the field.
I was expecting 70 and hoping for 80% effectiveness, and when it came back 95% effectiveness, it was extremely gratifying. It was that was emotional.
It's not just Moderna's vaccine. Pfizer used Dr. Graham's modified protein design too, but his work continues.
We're really all in this together in the sense that every infection that you can prevent might be the one that stops that next new virus variant from escaping our vaccine.
This is Dr. Barney Graham, who's the chief of the group that made the vaccine.
A vaccine designed by Dr. Barney Graham, the product of problem-solving skills developed on a farm in Paola, Kansas.
Half of every day was spent either fixing something or trying to find a solution to a problem for a piece of equipment you didn't have or something unexpected. When you have animals, there's always something unexpected going on. So I think that training was as important as any schooling I got along the way to help me do what I do now.
A man meeting a global moment with roots planted in the sunflower state.
Sent to the States in bulk.
Dr. Graham still has family here in the Kansas City metro, and as you just saw at the end of our report, he just met with President Biden during a White House visit to the National Institutes of Health. And Taylor and Lindsay, that is where Dr. Graham is still working during the pandemic.
Still at work. It's incredible to hear him talk about how his training on a Kansas farm is as important as any schooling that got him to this point. That's amazing.
Yeah, that problem solving that he's talking about, you think back to the dates that we laid out. He knew about COVID-19 back in December, and by January, he had the necessary information to start designing the vaccine. And again, the way he explained it, taking the protein, modifying it, and putting it into the guts of the vaccine, he made it so accessible for someone with absolutely no scientific background, and that was really why he wants to get the message out, to explain it to everyone so everyone can understand that it's a safe vaccine and that it was done with years of experience and up-to-date technology, and we're seeing those vaccines out in our community right now.
Dan, quickly before we let you go, what's his emotionality about watching it being given out to people right now, and including people right here in his home state? What's he thinking about as he watches this vaccine go out?
He's really very proud, and to see it going out everywhere, it's really emotional for him, especially when he knows that it's 95% effective. To see it being administered here in Kansas and Missouri and seeing it administered nationwide. He's really very proud of his work, but he's still staying focused on the task at hand, which is monitoring the variants as well.
Right.
So he is still hard at work at NIH with the entire team there that is, again, they've been working on this for more than a year now, since before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
Work is not done.
I was gonna say.
A Kansas native touching the lives of people around the planet.
Pretty great. Dan, thank you so much. We'll be back.